Hey kids, this is Ivan. How you doing? Screw performance evaluations. I'm going to get heated about this subject, so be warned. When you think about it, it is insane that as grown adults we subject ourselves to this ritualized abuse and hierarchical positioning. I want to say that it's perplexing that this happens, but it's really not, because we've been conditioned for this our entire lives. When I say performance evaluation, I'm not just talking about that once a year formalized thing that your boss and HR make you go through. I'm talking about that constant over your shoulder evaluation of what you're doing and critique. It's critique of who you are, how you measure up, if you're following the process, micromanaging every little detail about how you do your job or about how you live your life. But let's stick to jobs. This is one of the reasons I don't want to work for anybody else any longer, because I had enough of that as a child. I do not want to show up for that kind of abuse in my life now. I was on a group call the other day at work, and there was this little HR spiel about various things that we should or shouldn't do and how these could result in verbal and then written warning and then finally termination. And there were a bunch of grown adults on this call, and we're all being told that we're errant children. You better watch out. And look around at your job, especially performance evaluation time. You get a bunch of grown adults worrying, am I going to get a raise? Am I going to get fired? Am I going to be in some kind of trouble? The message that we get is the same one that we heard as kids. At least what I heard as a kid is that you're not good enough unless we say you are, unless you do this, this, and this. Otherwise, you're really not worth anything. Not only that, but if you don't behave, you're going to be in big trouble. I've watched a bunch of Henry Rollins interviews, and he always says that his father terrified him as a kid, and that resonates really strongly with me, because I grew up with parents that were abusive. There were adults in my life that were very critical, and so were my peers, and so I have a lot of experience with this kind of constant judgment, where you never really know, am I going to make them happy or not, and constantly being told that you're not living up to our expectations. Make no mistake, when you're a child, you're helpless. You can't just walk away. If your parents reject you and abandon you, well, you're going to die. And when your peers reject you, that doesn't feel very good either. And we're hardwired to really want that acceptance, because our ancestors that didn't want that, didn't care if the group ostracized them, well, they tended to die because they weren't in the group any longer. So we're programmed to feel that way. But then society, our parents, everybody else pushes that into us even more. So you learn on a really deep level to fear rejection, to fear that negative evaluation. And then all of a sudden, decades later, you're an adult, and that's still carried around with you, and you're still subjecting yourself to that same kind of abuse in your job, maybe in your relationships. And here's the thing, I'm not chasing financial freedom and some kind of success to have domination or to achieve domination. There's a lot of rich people that's what they're after. I'm chasing it to escape domination. What I don't want is some SOB dangling my paycheck in front of me, telling me I need to do this and this and to do some kind of trick, like it's some kind of dog treat. Screw that. And of course, I get it. We're never really going to escape evaluation, because if you go into any kind of business, if you have a YouTube channel, you're always being evaluated. But it's different. It's more honest. If you don't like my thumbnail or my title, well, you won't click on the video. If you hate this video right now, you're going to stop watching it. Okay, big deal. There's a lot of other people out there. It's not this really dysfunctional relationship between you and a boss and you and HR, where they're telling you that you better do what they say. There's other people out there. So if you don't like my video, it's okay. If you start a business or a side hustle, there's 8 billion people on the planet. There's going to be enough people that want what you have or like what you do or think that you don't suck, that you'll be able to make a living. This was one of those days where I had a few epiphanies and where anger kind of crystallized a few things in my mind. And one of the most infuriating things about this evaluation, it's not the boss, it's not HR, it's not all these other people, it's that voice in your head, the voice in my head telling you, you're not good enough. And the thing is, that voice sounds like you. It is not you, I guarantee you. It is you internalizing all that stuff you heard as a child. Maybe the stuff you hear now at work, and it plays that stuff back to you. And that constant critic in your head, that's not you. You think it's you. It's not. That's programming. That's a brain parasite, if you will. I got reminded of that today. I'm putting away these stupid, calculator type batteries at work, and I really hate putting them away. They're like an off-brand. The packaging really sucks. It doesn't really come off really well. And I realized one of the reasons I hate doing that is because when I'm finished, it always looks like shit, no matter what I do. And there's this part of me that says, well, it looks like I'm not doing a good job. And nobody's ever said anything to me about that, but I've got that evaluation in my own head. And where does that come from? That drives me nuts, because we don't need that kind of pressure. Not from us, not from other people. And yet, here we are in our 40s or our 50s or 60s, and we're putting ourselves in this position where we're letting other people tell us whether we're good enough. And we've got that voice in our head telling us the same damn thing. Screw that. And yeah, I get it. It's not necessarily a good idea to flip your boss the bird tomorrow unless you have a really solid backup plan. But the idea is once you realize this, once you see it, you can start working on like, what do I want to do to get the hell out of this situation? Don't confuse the need to survive with giving somebody permission to dominate you. You don't need to give the power to some SOB telling you whether you're worth something or not. Your worth does not depend on their approval. And there's always another job out there, no matter what the market analysts tell you. So get angry because you don't need the approval of somebody else. You don't need that performance evaluation from work. You don't need it from other people. You don't need it from that voice in your head. And I may alienate a few people, but you don't need it from organized religion either, because you strip away all the dogma, and very often it's this performance evaluation. Are you a good person or not? And the American government's going the same way, and that's not a cool thing either. Bottom line, screw what other people think. Don't hand over your self-worth to work, to church, to the government, to other people, to the critic inside your head. None of that. You don't need to be huddled up in the corner wondering if you're going to get fired or whether you measure up or if you're going to be accepted by your partner or by the church or none of that stuff. Forget that. Have a good one, kids. Thanks a lot for watching. I would love to hear your comments on this video. What do you think about all this? What have your experiences been? Do you think I'm wrong? Let me know. And of course, if you like the channel, go ahead, like the video, subscribe, comment. That all really helps me out. Have a good one, kids.